Hey, Miss Beverly. Okay, we just setting everything up. I'm gonna go ahead and put the descriptions out while everybody come on in. Let me go ahead and pull up the descriptions so because we have some stuff to share and we definitely don't need to be striked. So let me go ahead and get those descriptions up. I mean disclaimers. Why I keep saying descriptions? I'm kind of off today. Let me go ahead and get those disclaimers up. Hold on for a second.
Hey everybody. Hi Beverly. Hi Felicia. How you guys doing today?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Okay, so here's our copyright disclaimer. Let me go ahead and blow it up a little bit. So we'll be good with the copyright disclaimers. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put up a content disclaimer, okay? Because we are going to be using other people's content. We're going to be pulling up news articles. We're going to show a video. So I want to make sure that we are covered, that our butts are covered. Okay, so I'm going to put up another disclaimer before we get started. Just bear with me. Come on into the chat room, y'all. Y'all. I like seeing y'all. Let me go ahead and put that out, my content disclaimer.
Yes, y'all. Come on in. How you ladies doing out there? Hi Lagretta. Hey Vegas girl.
Okay, so here's our content disclaimer. So we wanted to make sure we have all our disclaimers in place. This lab is for the intent of education purposes only, entertainment purposes only. We have our content disclaimer that will cover all the content and material that we put out. So now that we got that out the way, we'll go ahead and get started. Anyway, good afternoon, everybody. I'm so happy to have y'all here. I've been looking forward to another week to come on. We back in action. So yeah, we lost, some of our audience because we had to take a vacation, a little break. You guys don't know why we've been off air for a while. Go watch the last lab. It was just a cool, relaxing live. It was really fun, entertaining. So go back and watch that live. But in the beginning of the live, we kind of stated to you guys why we've been off the air for a minute. Okay. So but we back. We back and we ready to get through to some juicy topics, have our little queens talk like we do. And as always, we make sure we are responding to you guys and we hearing your thoughts on everything that we discuss. Okay. So again, come on in. Welcome to the Queen's Roundtable. Grab a glass of juicy lemonade on your way in. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and get to it. So Lanice, my girl Lanice just celebrated her, what was it for you, Lanice? You want to tell your age or not?
45.
Her 45th birthday yesterday. So Lanice, how was your birthday?
My birthday was great. I got an early birthday present, which the last live we did, you guys know I was expecting my grandson and he's here. So I had a good time. A day of relaxation is what I needed. I sat in a jacuzzi all day, had my wine, and just relaxed with a book, candles, and just, you know, manifesting
Lanice,
my
she went
desires.
into labor. She went into labor when we left the show, didn't she?
Yes.
Like right after we got off the show
But
last
guess
week,
what?
guys.
He didn't come until Friday. So
Okay,
all
so
that long
Woo-wee.
time, it was
He,
a roller coaster.
okay, so
no,
when
they
we
say
got off
boys
the
are
show,
lazy.
yeah, when we got off the show on Wednesday, You guys, as soon as we got the show on Wednesday, her grandbaby or her daughter-in-law went into labor, but he didn't actually come until Friday. So I don't know if y'all remember us saying that, she had a grandbaby on the way. So, and we was talking about her birthday was coming. So she got an early birthday present. How blessed.
Yes, I sure did. And I'm just so glad he's here. I'm just excited, y'all. That's my little stinker butt.
When we seen the pictures, one thing I can tell y'all, he is adorable.
He is handsome. Very handsome.
Thank you, thank you.
So we
He is
got our first Queens of the Round Table baby, y'all. We got a little nephew.
actually, you had the first one, Nene.
Oh yeah, well, for 2020, we got a 2020 Queens of the Round Table baby.
Okay, yeah, and so y'all don't have to worry about anything with Malika as far as having babies because I am completely done with having babies. I made that decision 9 years ago that I didn't want to have any more babies. I got 2 boys, 2 girls, and once I equaled them out, I was like, I'm done. My husband wanted to keep going. I was like, baby, this is what you have to understand. This is my body. And when I tell you I'm done, I'm done. No, but I was a high risk pregnancy, and he totally understood, that I didn't want to keep putting my life in jeopardy by having babies. So 9 years ago, I made the decision that I was done. So my oldest is 9, going on 10. I am done. We'll be 10 next year, but I'm done. And as far as me having any grandbabies, I don't think that'll come anytime soon. Though my oldest is 19, she's more into sports. She's an athlete, and she's more into sports and hopefully getting her college degree before she decided to have any babies. So I kind of like keep her head in the books and her feet on the basketball court, to try to use that as a distraction. And she actually told me, like, Ma, I don't want a boyfriend until I get my stuff together. She said, I got to get my stuff together first because I don't want to have no boyfriend and he come into my life and try to take me away from what I got going on. So when I get my stuff together first, then I think about a boyfriend. So I said, okay, well, I'm happy with that, So I don't think we'll be having any small babies over here no time soon, though we are talking about getting another puppy because I think my baby Deja, she is lonely. My puppy she used to have, and we had a boy puppy, but we ended up getting rid of him because he just wouldn't get the whole home training, potty training, or whatever you call it, training thing down pat, and he was using it in my house. So we had to get rid of him. So we might get her, and he's been gone for like a year now. So we might get her another puppy. That might be the only baby that we bring into this house. We might get another puppy. We've been talking about it. But I just want to throw that out there. Malika ain't have no babies up here. But I don't mind watching Lanice. If you want to ever, fly here to Texas and, let me keep the baby, Nene, Auntie Malika will be here to babysit. Okay? I have no problem with babysitting.
You
As
know
long as
what?
y'all be
I'm just so glad that y'all support me the way that y'all do. Thank you guys for the birthday wishes. And I believe Vegas girl, you wanted to know his name. His name is Jarrell. It's pronounced Jarrell. It means God is real. So that's my little snake butt's name. And him
oh, that is
love him
so
his
nice.
auntie already. He just be smiling when y'all be talking.
I knew it was Ja real, but I didn't know it meant Yah is real. God is real. Wow, that was so creative of her.
God is real.
Who came up
Well,
with
we
that
wanted to
name?
name him Truth at first, but instead we went with Jarrell. We wanted to, give him something that's, to dedicate back to God. She wanted to dedicate him back to the Lord, so we went with that one.
I love it. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Well, congratulations to you. Enjoy being a glam mom. And like I said, you guys, I'm always here to babysit if y'all need me. I love babies. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not trying to have any live under my roof. I cannot financially support another child. I barely can financially support another puppy. Okay, a family of 6. We got over here, and one puppy. That ain't including. We got a family of 6 and a puppy, so we got a family of 7 over here. That's plenty. That's plenty right now. And thinking about another puppy, so that'd be 8, plenty. But anyway,
Well, wait a minute, Malika. Guess what? Malika and Nene in chat. Remember last Wednesday I was telling you guys about my dad too.
you got a praise
Well,
report for us.
huh?
You got a praise report for us.
Yes, I do. You guys, he is on 2% oxygen and he is getting ready to come home.
Oh wow, that's what's up.
See, that would, I really wish I had some sound effects. If I would have had some clapping sound effects, I would have played them.
I'm
That's
telling y'all,
good. That's
the
good news.
power of prayer is real. So, anybody going through anything, don't give up. Let your request be known unto God. And I'm telling you, don't give up because when I tell you God is good, He is good. He is just awesome.
Push, pray until something happens. Push.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm so happy to hear that, Lenise. I think, like I told you before, sis, behind the scenes, you are blessed and highly favored. And keep walking in that favor of the Lord. Don't let nobody take you off your course. As long as you put out good energy, you will attract good energy. So keep walking in the favor of the Lord. You are definitely favored. And I am so happy that everything is just turning out for the good in your life. But we're going to go ahead into our topic of discussion, which we have a few topics, but we're going to go ahead and start off by addressing a couple of emails that I got and one recent email. Okay, I want to let you guys know you guys can always send us an anonymous email or even just the email, but we would never put your name out there. You guys can send us email, ask us questions, ask us, give us some suggestions as to what topics to speak on. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the email address inside the chat room. Okay, we would love to hear from you guys. We would love to hear from you guys. So go ahead and send us the email and we will talk about it. We will address it on the next show. All right. So our email address is inside the chat room. Go ahead and copy it and paste it or screenshot it so you'll have it. Shoot us the email if you guys just want us to talk about something or if you have a question. But one of the emails that we received, you guys, was on a deep topic. And this wasn't the first email that I received for us to actually speak on this topic. So I wanted to take some time out today for us to address this topic, for us to speak on this topic of this person that reached out to me. And the last person that reached out to me and wanted us to speak on it had really been going through cyberbullying. So I said, okay, for this week's show, we're going to take some time out to speak about cyberbullying. Y'all know last week we kind of talked about just for a little bit the YouTube drama and beef and things like that goes on social media. But we was basically referencing a lot of that to YouTube. But we know that social media bullying goes on different platforms, not just YouTube. So we wanted to kind of talk about cyberbullying a little bit and hear from the chat room, give y'all thoughts on cyberbullying before we jump into all these different topics. We want to address this email and kind of speak on it for a minute. Now, I do want to tell y'all I experienced this as well. Okay, so I think nobody's exempt from being tested. Okay, you are being tested. Nobody is exempt from being tested. I don't know if I would actually call mine cyberbullying it could be labeled as such. But the reason why I don't identify it as cyberbullying is because I didn't allow that to manifest in my life as such. I realized that I was being harassed, for a minute on social media, but I didn't take it in as cyberbullying, because if I would have took it in and allow myself to become affected by it, then I could have went to a whole different stage from being upset or angry to being depressed, stressed out, different things like that. So I kind of just was able to identify it as harassing. And so I said, a lot of times when people harass you, that's because they haters or secret lovers, and I kind of dismissed it as a hater just trying to harass me. But now, in order for me or my response to that have to change. It have to change. And if y'all know me, I don't take kindly to anybody harassing me, speaking negatively about me, and things like that. So for a while, I was going back and forth with this, I guess you could say, cyberbully, and they would put all kind of lies out there, to try to make it look like it was me that was the initiator, and just telling all kind of stories out, about me, stuff that wasn't true, because they really had this hatred or love in their heart for me. Okay. But because I was actually living a full life outside of social media, where I'm loved, I'm respected, I'm taken care of, I'm treated great, I had to learn how to separate social media from my real world. And that way I can separate my emotions. Because when I was going back and forth with this person on social media, I would log off of social media, and now like it's just in my spirit. And now I'm just either down, or I'm having a messed up day, or I'm cussing people out or whatever, because I really can't attack back like I want to. The person that was initiating the bullying. And so what it would do is, because I couldn't really lash back like I wanted to, it would just seep down in my spirit, and I would be like an emotional wreck throughout the day or throughout the week that I was dealing with it. So my advice when it comes to cyberbullying is try to not even just cyberbullying, but period. Try to separate who you are and your real world from social media. Okay, because social media you can always disconnect from. You can always shut it down. You can always disconnect from it, and you can always go back to the life that God has for you, and the people that surround you, and the people that surround you in love and kindness and respect. And sometimes we spend 80% of our time on social media, 20% of our time around our family and our friends who genuinely love us and care for us. And you have no real balance. And because of that, you didn't internalize so much negativity throughout the day. Imagine that 80% of the time you are indulging or internalizing negativity, and only 20% of the time you're around your children who make you smile, or around your man or your husband. You're only spending time with your family who actually love you. And so now you're taking that 80% of energy that you got throughout the day, and you pouring it into them. So it can come off as if you're not really appreciating or valuing the time that you have with your loved ones. Okay, so a lot of times you have to just completely unplug from social media, or give yourself that balance. Okay, I'll spend half the day or less than half the day on social media, because maybe I'm promoting myself, maybe I'm promoting the brand, and I have to be on social media. I'm using 10-20% of my time just to engage with my people. Okay, but also have that balance to where you spending at least the same amount of time, if not more time, surrounded by positivity, positive energy, people that love you, people that care for you. That way, mentally, you don't get off track, or you don't get thrown off as to who you are and the fact that you are loved, because you'll start believing that bull stuff that people are saying about you. You will even internalize that stuff like, dang, am I weak? Dang, am I this? Am I that? You would actually internalize that. And and I'm not going to say exactly what this person was saying about me, because I don't want to put that in the atmosphere. And I know that's not me. That's totally not me. But I've had people calling me everything but the child of God. Let's just put it like that. Demons, all type of stuff. And I would get offline like, dang, am I demonic? And have to literally pray and be like, Father, what fruits am I putting out there to where people is looking at me as this demonic being, this demonic entity? What am I doing? I would literally question my own spirituality because of what somebody who don't know me said about me. Do that make any sense to you? They ain't never seen me worship. They ain't never seen me read. They ain't never been around me to actually see the fruit that I'm pouring out. But because they call me demonic, I'm over there questioning my spirituality. Do that make any sense to you? So I had to really check myself, because this is what I had to tell myself. You know who God was, who God called you to be prior. And you, prior to being on social media, prior to meeting these people, prior to all of this stuff you're going through, you know who God called you to be. Okay. And God ordained you and ordained your calling before you was even born. Okay, so of course you're gonna have some failures. Of course you're gonna have some slip ups. It's gonna take some grooming along the way, some maturing along the way, some lessons being learned along the way. But that still don't change who God called you to be, because remember, He called you to be who He called you to be before you was even born. Okay, knowing that you was gonna have all these slip ups, failures. See what I'm saying? Flaws. But anyway, so I had to actually tell myself, that don't change who God called me to be. Okay. What it, this right here, what it can change is how I receive it and how I respond to it. How I receive it and how I respond to it, that is what can change the outcome. And how I handle this stuff, how I deal with this stuff. That's what shapes my character. That's what changes me, not what they said about me. Okay. So I realized that one thing I had to do for myself, and I'm not trying to go long. I'm just hoping that this will help. I'm gonna let the other girls chime in too, but I'm just hoping this will really help, because I really experienced this stuff. Okay, and I've been changing myself, because I really had to separate me from social media. Okay, I said they're gonna talk. People gonna talk. People don't know you're gonna talk. They're gonna always have something to say. They might say your nose is too big. If you're trying to please people, they might tell you your nose is too big. You turn around and get a nose job. Then they're going to start talking about you because you got a nose job. They're going to say you're flat butt. You ain't got no butt. Your butt look like pancakes. Then you get a butt job. They're going to turn around and say she got a butt job. They're going to talk about you regardless. That's why you can't live your life pleasing people. Okay. But anyway, so I said the way I deal with this is how I respond to it. Okay. If you're not calling me Malika or Malika Lior or sis or bae or friend, you're not going to get no response from me. My name ain't demon. My name ain't devil. My name ain't Jezebel. So you're not talking to me. You're not talking to me, period. So I don't respond to that stuff. I don't engage in it no more, because I realize the greater you go in life, the more of an influence you are on others. That's the harder the devil is going to attack you. And he's going to try to pull you out your character, so people won't be able to feed off of you and to feed off your energy. So he will attack you even more. And right now he's using social media to do so. He can't come to your home and beat you down, because he know if he sends somebody to your home, they're going to get beat down. They won't make it. They won't leave. So social media, they become thugs. They become gangsters. You see what I'm saying? They want to use all their power and they force and they might through their words, because they know they don't have no real one. They can't pray you away. They can't beat you away. So they call themselves threatening you or bullying you. It's all about how you internalize it, how you respond to it. And as long as you have control over you and your thoughts, and you know what I'm saying, what you got going on, then hey, none of that stuff should be able to affect you. Okay, none of that stuff should be able to affect you. So I hope that helped a little bit. But if y'all girls want to chime in on cyberbullying, I would love for y'all too.
Well, as for me, I don't play when it comes to cyberbullying. I mean, first of all, me coming online does not make us friends. Nobody knows me personally, what I do in my daily life. So what people say and think about me, I could care less. Because at the end of the day, you don't pay my bills. You don't do anything for me. And it's not what you say, it's what God says about me. So, I understand the frustration and, a lot of people that do, the cyberbullying and stuff. It can really cause other people to feel a type of way about themselves. You got kids out here that's committing suicide and just taking their lives because of what somebody said. You putting things into the atmosphere, you're putting your mouth on people that you don't even know for real. Like, this is just ridiculous. And I just, I don't like it. I wish it would stop. But like you were saying, it, the best thing to do is get offline, spend time with your family. I feel like if you put out positive energy, you will get it back. Now, that's not to say that every time you put out something positive that somebody will be negative. I mean, that's just the way the world works. But for the most part, ignore, unwind, and know who you are. Know who you are. Be confident in yourself. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise.
That's right. And don't look for your reward to come through man. Because that's another thing I was going through. Like, I was praying, like, well, God, I'm always positive. I'm doing this and doing that from the kindness of my heart, and they still attacking me. But God is like, but I reward you, and I reward you openly. You know what I'm saying? So even though I know what you're doing is nothing but positive, I know that you do things from the kindness of your heart. And that's why I bless you the way that I do. You see what I'm saying? But don't look for the reward to come from people. Because like I just gave you an example, they will always have something to say if you try to please people. So don't look for your reward from people. Look for God to see what you're doing, to see who you are, and accept and approve who you are, and for him to bless you in spite of what everybody else say, do, or think about you. But go ahead, Nina, if you have something that you wanted to share on that.
Um, y'all pretty much just said a mouthful. I mean, I don't condone cyberbullying. I don't like it. But, at the end of the day, it's a lot of that going on YouTube. It's a lot of that going on Facebook. And a lot of the times people who claim they get bullied be engaging in other people cyberbullying other people. So, in my opinion, how is that fair? I mean, you can't try to pretend, or play victim and then, be somewhere else and then be doing the same thing that's the same person doing to you. I don't know. I just see a lot of that going on. So I ain't really got too much to say about it. Just
But you opened up a whole new can of worms, Nene, when you said that, because that was something that needs to be touched on, that we didn't touch on it, because you can't you can't play the victim and be the bully at the same time. That's another thing. That was a good point that you made. Um, stay on the track of being positive. Stay on the track of being as innocent as possible, where like you can't throw nothing back at me because I ain't said nothing. And I ain't, and this, thank you for saying that, Nene, because we got to watch out what we say to people. I don't care if it's through phone conversations, through messages, because people is so quick nowadays to screenshot you, record you, and even use your words out of context. People are quick to do that. So you got to be careful what you say and how you respond to certain things. Okay. And if you
Yeah,
are being a
absolutely.
victim,
Karma is real. Karma is real. So if you putting out that energy, people will try to say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna see just how much she believe in God. I'm gonna see just how much she claims she's supposed to be this. She's claims she's supposed to be that. I'm gonna
I'm gonna see
see
if I
just
can tear
how
her
much
down.
exactly.
I'm gonna see how much I can tear her down. But you definitely can't straddle the fence, like Nene said. You definitely can't straddle the fence. You need to keep your hands clean as much as possible. That's our other advice, to anybody who's going through that. Keep your hands clean as much as possible, because yeah, karma will come back and bite you in the butt, and you don't want to play. You don't. I'm not gonna say play. I don't want to say use the word play, but you don't want to um be victimized and at the same time bullying other people. You know what I'm
Right. And
saying?
you can't
So
you can't throw rocks and then try to hide your hand neither, because that's not gonna cut it. So
exactly. So definitely be careful for that with that. But we wanted to go ahead and address cyberbullying. If you guys have any more questions or anything you guys want us to speak on, once again, I'm gonna put our email inside the chat room. Send us an email, guys. Go ahead and send us an email, and we will speak on it. Don't send an email to Malika's World, to my regular email. Send it to queensroundtable@gmail.com.
I would
Okay,
need,
and we will respond to it.
I be wanting to read some of these emails myself too, because it ain't funny, but it's like I said, I be in the bushes on YouTube and I be seeing like people doing the most. So I'm not gonna say nothing, but I'm just saying I be needing to read. I want to read some of these emails myself too one day, for real.
Yeah, we're gonna answer. We're gonna address one email a day. We have a couple more interesting emails as well, but we're gonna just read one email out a day and respond to it, because we have a whole show and we actually spent enough time on that. But I hope our point got across, and I hope it helps somebody. Okay, so on to our next topic. Besides that, Kanisha, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the article for you.
Oh, I'm going first.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. If you want to go ahead and give us a summary.
Okay. So if anybody isn't familiar with this person that's on the screen, his name is Timothy Norman. I believe that's his name. Um, he was on a show called Sweetie Pies, and I used to watch the show. It was a really good show. I hate that it don't come on no more. If it do, I don't know, but it was a really good show. His mom is Miss Robbie. She's the owner of Sweetie Pies, and this article is basically, it just came out I think yesterday. That he was arrested on charges for a plot to hire. In regards to his nephew. His nephew name was Andre, and he was from Los Angeles. And Miss Robbie brought Andre down to St. Louis to stay with her so that he can, live a better lifestyle. Because I'm assuming his mom was a bad influence on him. Her son, which is Andre's dad and Tim's oldest brother, was gunned down um, some years back. I don't know how long ago it was, but Miss Robbie had two sons. She had Tim and she had Andre Sr., who was murdered. And so she brought down his son, Andre, to stay with her in St. Louis. I believe he finished high school down there. He graduated. And at 21, he was murdered. And the guy that's in the picture is his uncle. And Andre worked at the restaurant with them. It was two nephews that worked there, I believe. But I thought they was talking about the other nephew, but it ended up being this one. So Tim called a dancer, a stripper, somebody from Memphis, Tennessee, to come to St. Louis. Matter of fact, Tim was in Los Angeles at the time. He was hiring, plotting all of this against this dude, and he flew from his home in Los Angeles to St. Louis to make sure the deed was done. So the stripper came from Memphis, and she was basically following Andre around. And when Tim had bought her like a burner phone, they was communicating from burner phones. And I guess she was following Andre around. So when she finally got to a point where Andre had stopped, then she told Tim, and I guess Tim sent the person out to shoot him. So the girl, the stripper, was charged too because her phone dinged from the vicinity of the murder. So yeah, they both got arrested. But I think after a week after
Okay, so hold on for just for people like me, for the slow pokes in the back. Tim is Andre's uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Tim plotted to kill his nephew, Andre,
Right.
and he used a stripper to help set everything up.
Right.
Okay,
So, um, after a week after Andre was killed, Tim had went into, I guess, to try to pull a $450,000 life policy out on him. I think they said he tried to do it more than once, but I'm just trying to figure out like who put that. I guess the policy was in Tim's name. Tim actually put the policy on Andre. I thought Miss Robbie had did it, but I guess Tim had did it himself. So I guess that's why he thought he can go in and pull the money out because the money was in his name. So it kind of seemed like he was plotting this for like a long time because him and Andre, had some, disagreements on the show. They had some disagreements where they weren't getting along, but I guess they ended up doing it. I don't know. I don't know why he wanted him dead, but he had him killed. So then he tried to take out the life policy money on him. And then the stripper, I guess she was getting money from it too. So they caught her because she was having like $9,000 deposited into like different banks. So that's how they caught her too. So that's pretty much it. But the fact that, he was his nephew, his only nephew. And
and
the fact
also Andre was only 18 years old,
I
so he
think he
was
was 21 when he died.
oh, okay, okay,
Well, they said 18, but I think he was 21 when he died.
yeah,
Because this
you're
happened
right
in
because it said in
2016.
2014. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, okay.
okay. So he took out this life insurance policy when he was 18 years old,
Or
and
he,
he made himself the sole beneficiary of the life insurance policy. So this was something that he was plotting to do for a while.
yeah, and Miss Robbie was really really hurt that he died because he was on the show. It showed him when he came from Los Angeles to the point where he graduated high school, and while he was in St. Louis, he got his life together. Like he was doing really good, and he was living with Miss Robbie. And like I said, her oldest son died, and then his son died. So it's like she got hit with a double whammy. So I don't know how she feeling towards Tim. I don't know. He just was doing shady shit anyway. So
They need to look. They need to look back into her other son's death. How they say, how was he killed or was he murdered?
he was murdered, but I don't remember. I don't remember how
They
he
need to
was.
look into that because if she see that
Well, Tim
her
was locked
son,
up. Tim was locked up when he got killed.
oh, okay,
Tim served 10 years in prison too.
okay,
So once he got out, that's when he started. They opened up the restaurants because she already had a restaurant in Florence, I think. But Tim got out, and then once he got on track, they opened up multiple sweetie pies. So they got one in Los Angeles, and I think they got two in St. Louis.
okay. Wow,
And he was stealing from her too.
wow.
So the nigga
So
was
is the
greedy.
son? Have they arrested the son and they charged them with murder?
What, Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he got arrested yesterday. This when the story came out yesterday.
Okay. They arrested the female suspect, the stripper girl.
She got arrested too.
Wow. That shows us right there. Just because you have money, don't mean you don't have problems. I actually heard Steve Harvey. This is on another note, but I actually heard a video that Steve Harvey did, or a live that Steve Harvey did, and he made a good point. He said, "More money, more problems." Just like Biggie said. He said, "Just because you have more money, don't mean you don't have problems." He said, "Now you have rich people problems." Okay. We used to having poor people problems. All right, like such as cyberbullying. Because I really got maybe me not talk about nobody, but just because I got a lot of time on my hands to spend on the internet. I got time on my hands to read the comments. I got too much time on my hands to watch the videos. But when you're dealing with rich people, they got rich people problems. Um, I'm used to living this lavish lifestyle, and now I don't have the income that I used to have. Now I'm in debt. So now I need to kill somebody take out a life insurance policy because I need $400,000 in order to save my home, or in order to keep that lifestyle up. So, you go from having, like Steve Harvey said, poor folk problems to rich folk problems. It don't mean you don't have problems just because you got more money. And you talking about being a target or being talked about as the po folk. Now you're dealing with a whole new level of being targeted as a rich person. Because now people is plotting to take your life. Okay, is that something you willing to handle when you asking God for more and more and more? Are you willing to deal with the more problems that come with the more? That's something that we have to ask ourselves. I'm sorry, y'all.
But it's like, okay, I don't really want to. I don't know. I'm not going to speak on that right now. What I wanted to say, well, I'm just going to just let that go. That's another subject for a different live. But it just sounds so. It doesn't really sound similar to Kanika, but in some ways it do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It just, to me, it seemed like it's so similar, but I could be wrong. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so just keep that in mind. I'm sorry, y'all got to plug up my laptop. I didn't think that I needed to charge it before I got on, so I'm doing that real quick.
Well, somebody in the comments said something about he was touching on the nephew. Are you talking about Andre, the one who got killed?
Now, if it has something to do with something like that, then why it looked real suspicious to put out an insurance policy on that person and make yourself the beneficiary versus your mom who actually is taking care of them. You know what I'm saying? So that right there showed to me a plot to murder, in my opinion.
I don't think she knew about it. I don't think Miss Robbie knew about the life insurance policy.
That's what I'm saying. But for Tim to put one out there years prior and to make himself the sole beneficiary of the life insurance policy, to me, that shows a plot, an intent to murder. You know what I'm saying? That's just like me. I'm married. So I expect my husband to have a life insurance policy on me. But if somebody else outside of my household was to put one out on me and then I turn up dead a couple of days later or a couple of years later, for that matter, hey, that's suspicious to me. Suspicious as hell to me. Okay, but anyway, so that's interesting. It's sad, and we definitely praying for the family. And remember what I say, y'all, just because you have more money don't mean you don't have problems. So what we're going to do is a quick would you rather question before we move into another topic, our second half of the show, which we're going to get into more deeper topics. We're going to talk a little politics. We're going to show the George Floyd video that came out that was released like maybe a week ago. So we're going to show that, and we're going to kind of have a discussion on that. So before we move into that, we're going to do a quick would you rather question to kind of give you guys something to think about. And yeah, so I want to see y'all answers because this would you rather question is for everybody. Okay? And don't leave out without hitting that thumbs up or sharing this video. Do us a favor. We are primarily new channel. So show us some love, hit that thumbs up, share the video, so we can keep everything going, okay? So, y'all, would you rather question? Like I said, it's a question for everybody, okay? Not just for us, but I'm going to ask everybody on the panel what they think, and I'm also going to be reading y'all questions, y'all comments. Okay, so would you rather, think about the answer, would you rather be able to change the future or the past by just imagining it? I'm going to read it again. Would you rather be able to change the future or the past by just imagining it? Imagining it. That's a tongue twister. So, Lanice, would you rather be able to change your future or your past just by imagining it?
Well, For me, all that I have endured up until this moment, I would rather change my past.
Okay. Okay. Good
Yeah, I would
answer.
rather
Good.
change my past.
You'd rather be able to change your past. Now,
Mhm.
remember, you guys, you took a look into your future. Okay. Um, would you rather be able to change the outcome of your future and kind of dictate how it should go or what you want and let it manifest? Or would you be able to change the past? I'm gonna have to agree with you, Lanice, because I've been through some. Well, hmm. I really can't say the past for me because I know the past pretty much shaped me. I know God don't make mistakes, and I know the past pretty much shaped me to be the person I am today. And I really don't want to change the future either because I do believe that God have a calling on my life. So that for me, that's a tough one, and I don't want to interrupt whatever God called me to do. So this was a really tough question. This was a really tough question for me. Would I rather, just by imagining it? Would I rather be able to change my past or my future? Whew. I'll get back to myself. I'm gonna read some of y'all some of
You
y'all
know, the reason why
answers
I
first.
say that is because, like, I'm gonna give y'all an example. I witnessed a murder. A guy got killed in my car. My oldest son during that time was like 2 years old, and if I would give anything to change that whole outcome. So that's for me. That's why I'm saying I would change the past.
I definitely hear you on that. I definitely hear you on that. I haven't had anything dramatic like that happen to me. I have had some dramatic moments, but not like that. I've had things that it was pretty much where I could brush off and be like, okay, I'm a much better person because of that, and look back at those moments and laugh. But something is dramatic as that, then I definitely see why you said the past. Okay, so Joy said, I'd rather change my future. My past is my history. I need those memories. I like that answer. I like those answers.
Yeah,
Nini?
I agree with that one. I agree with what Joy just said. I was just reading it. I was like, yeah, that sound like something that I was about to say. So I agree with her on that. Yep.
Okay. Jennifer said, my past because it's a lot in my future today I'm not happy with. Okay. Okay. So even though you said because it's a lot in your future and today you're not happy with, so you want to be able to change your past so we can kind of change the outcome of your future. Is that what you're saying, Jennifer? Okay. Miss Tiff said that's a tough one because my past made me who I am today. Exactly. So I think I would rather shape my future to make sure my dreams are death manifested this point on. But I would like to change some past things if I could. I think I agree with Tiff on that. I think I really agree with Tiff on that. And that's one thing that I said because my past kind of helped shape me who I am to who I am today. But if I could definitely kind of look into my future and change some things and help shape my future, so I can make sure that I would have the outcome that I so desire, I would probably say change my future, and just kind of keep my past because, like I said, I haven't had anything that was so devastating. um, of course, I will want to change some of the people that I was in relationships with that I encountered. Okay, some heartaches, pain, some things like that. But also, like Joyce said, my past is kind of history. So I would kind of like brush that off, and I would be more probably focused on restructuring my future and making sure my present and my future is kind of aligned, have a straight line, a straight pathway. You know what I'm saying? So that'll probably be my answer for it. Got to catch back up, got a phone call driving. Okay, Cynthia. Okay, we all definitely had some good answers. Y'all definitely had some good answers. That right there was definitely a tough one. And that was something that me and the girls was talking about behind the scenes. And if you ask me, is really something, just a deep thought. Just a deep thought. And we have another quick one, another quick would you rather, um, which is another deep thought. And it's sort of like the one that we just had. Okay. Would you rather have a fast forward button on your life or a rewind button? Kind of just like the one we just mentioned, but if you can actually have a button to speed things up and fast forward things, would you do it? Or would you, if you had a rewind button, would you rather press that rewind button and go back in time? Now, I'm an 80s baby. I grew up with 90s music. I would love to go back in time, especially I don't want to age. I want to be real slow when it comes to aging. Okay, I still feel like I'm 21, even though I just turned 40. So, so although I want to make sure my future and everything is shaped how I want it to be, if I had a button, I wouldn't speed things up. I definitely wouldn't speed things up. I would probably hit the rewind button and go back and live in 1990s where I had some good soul for moaning type of music. And I would probably, another thing I would probably do different if I can go back and rewind time, I would probably get my college degree first prior to getting married and having children. So that's the reason why I say I would probably hit the rewind button, because I would want to go back and just kind of, just structure my life a little bit different if I had the choice. Like I said, it's kind of similar to the other question that we asked, but you can interpret it a little bit different too. So what do y'all think? Would y'all rather hit the rewind button or the fast forward button on your life? Are you trying to
Both.
speed things up or go back in time?
Both.
You
I'm
only
like,
got
I'm
one
like,
button in you. You only got one button. You got a fast forward button and you got a rewind button. You only got one button. You can't hit both. That's why it's called Would You Rather.
okay, well, I guess I would have to go back. I would have to go back because I'm like, I agree with what Miss Tiff said. Take me out of 2020. I'll take me back before Trump. I want to go back way before then. That's what I want to do. Take me back to the 90s, the early 2000s. Yeah, take me back there. I'm young though. I'm still young, so I mean, I guess I got a lot of things to still accomplish, but I would rather go back.
That baby said, I want to be heard on the round table
Girl,
today.
I'm trying to get my words out before he starts getting louder. I'm sorry.
Lenise, what about you? Would you rather hit the rewind button or are you trying to speed things up?
I would definitely hit the rewind button. I'm trying to spend more time with my parents. They're deceased now. My grandparents. Like it's just me now. So I would definitely hit the rewind button. And I probably would take my time. Like you said, make sure I do everything I need to do before having children, just getting my life in complete order. I would definitely hit that rewind button. There's no ifs, no ands, buts about it.
Do y'all think if we was to go back in time and we can actually change things, do y'all think that maybe I don't know, maybe 2020 would still be the same? So somebody said that I would rather go forward because mostly everybody said rewind button, but somebody actually made a good point. Like I would rather go forward so I don't have to so we can hurry up and get out of 2020 and we can hurry up and get out of this whole coronavirus phase, if it's just a phase. And that's the good thing because if we was to go backwards, we might still have to deal with the whole 2020 Trump, coronavirus, and all that other stuff. So maybe it is a good thing to just jump over, you know what I'm saying, this part right here. But I'm just thinking about speeding things up like hell. I already had a mental meltdown when I turned 40. I'm sure I ain't looking forward to speeding things up, but that was a good point too. And that was made from Tiff.
Knowing all that at this moment, knowing the coronavirus is here, Trump is in office, all of that stuff, I wouldn't speed it up. I would be more prepared, you know what I'm saying, to get to this moment again. So,
yeah,
like
that's
I said,
true.
I'll rewind.
Have 2020 been a sucky year for everybody? And I don't know what other word to use but sucky. Drop a 1 in the chat room if 2020 has just been a hellish, sucky year for you. And
You
if you
know
have
what?
had,
I hate 2020. I gotta be honest. I can't stand 2020. The only good thing came out of 2020 was my grandbaby, of course. But other than that, I hate 2020. I'm over it.
if you had a blessed 2020 and 2020 has been going in your direction and everything has seems to be falling into place for you this year, drop a two. And I want to say, other than the virus, um everything has seemed to been coming together. Maybe because I'm still growing spiritually. I'm still growing spiritually, and I've matured more this year than I ever was. So even though it's been a sucky 2020 as far as, the virus and things like that that's been going on, and this whole election, which we know a lot of things that's been happening in the world today is really all about this upcoming election. Okay, in my opinion. So despite of all that, I think that things have been kind of coming together. Like, my marriage is a lot stronger because a lot of y'all know me and my husband separated for a whole year, and we got back together. We got married in 2004, and we separated in 2014, and we got back together in 2015. Okay, so we've been back together since 2015. So it was kind of like we had to start over and not really knowing each other, but just strengthening our marriage back together. So right now, on the 2020 thing, I want to say it's stronger than it had ever been. My family is more solid than it ever been. My spirituality has grown more, and maybe it's because of the virus and the things that's going on with the election. I had to put more trust and more faith in God and pray more. And because I had people that was getting sick, people that just called and request prayer from me. So because of that, I have grown more stronger this year than I ever been. And I mean spiritually, emotionally, mentally, just all around the board. So it's always, two, what does it say? Two ways look at the glass, half empty and half full. That's pretty much what my 2020 has been about, you know. So, but yeah, I definitely hate 2020. And another reason why I hate 2022, let me just say this, because I lost my grandmother in 2020. I lost my grandmother February 2020, and that just, oh my God, that just tore me apart. But like I said, looking at the glass half empty and half full, it also made me become more spiritually awakened and stronger because I lost her, So that is my answer on that. And that is a good would you rather question and some good answers y'all gave, people. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to move into the next segment. Y'all know we only here for 2 hours, so we're going to go ahead and go on to the next segment. I'm going to show this George Floyd video that was released last week. I want you guys to watch this video. Even if y'all seen the video already, rewatch it with us, because maybe y'all will peep out something that y'all didn't peep out the first time. It's a short clip. It's not a long video. It was something that was newly released, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it on last week's show. So we're going to go ahead and play it now. And we're going to ask you guys the same question that was asked on Facebook when this video was released on Facebook. Does it change your mind or your perception about the George Floyd case? Okay, so keep in mind as you watching this video, and I'm going to show this video and we're going to speak on it, okay? So the question again would be, does this video, what you see, change your mind or your perspective of the George Floyd case? All right. Oop, Denise, guess what I forgot to do?
Press that button.
Yep. How you know?
But you know what, real quickly, 45, she's saying that blessings have outweighed the bad. She almost lost her son and grandson, but the key word was almost. So she's going to need to stop complaining. You know what? I feel you on that, because I've seen a lot of things happen to other people too. And through it all, even though I don't like 2020, I've been fortunate. I have really, really been blessed throughout this year. So I don't need to be complaining either. So I just wanted to say that. I feel you on that.
And Cynthia said, "Thank you, thanks Malika, thank you for all your prayers, Queen." And Cynthia, you know I got your back. Anybody, you know, like I said, you guys just coming to me. I am very humbled. I am very humbled by anybody that come to me and say, because I'm going to really pray for you. I'm going to really pray for you. And I don't care if I, you know, forget to do it right away, but I can be driving in my car and I will have a quick thought, like God will put you in my heart and I will shout you out before God. So I'm not one of them people that say I'm praying for you and I don't lift you up. You see what I'm saying? I'm not one of those people. So I am really, let me just say, I'm really humbled, you know, for somebody to come and ask me to pray for them. So another thing, y'all can send us an email to Queen's Roundtable. If y'all want us, you want to send us a discreet email and just ask us to pray for you, we'll touch and agree together and we'll send up a prayer for you. Okay. I just wanted to say that. So Cynthia, I got you and anybody else who needs prayer. I'm gonna go ahead and play this video. And I want to know, does this video change your perception of the George Floyd case? Okay. Drop me a 1 if the audio sounds good. Drop me a 2 if it does not.
Driver in there?
Which one? The blue one over there.
Which one? Yep, that's right there.
Okay. Something like that.
All right.
You see your hands.
Hey, man.
Stay in the car. Let me see your other hand.
I'm sorry.
Let me see your other hand.
Please, Miss Alpha.
Both
Can't do
hands.
nothing.
Put your fucking hands up right now. Let me see your other hand.
Right. What I do though? What do we do?
Put your hand up there. Put your fucking hand up there. Jesus Christ. Keep your fucking hands on the wheel. Keep your fucking hands on the wheel.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, Miss Alpha.
Who else is in the car?
This is my
Put
friend.
your foot back in.
I'm sorry, Miss Alpha. I'm so sorry. God dang, man. Man, I got shot the same way as I was before.
Okay, well, when I say let me see your hands, you put your fucking hands up.
I'm so sorry, Miss Alpha.
You got them?
Man, dang, man.
Put your hands on top of your head.
Man, Miss Alpha. Last time I got shot like that, Miss Alpha.
Hands on top of your head. Hands on top of your head. Step out of the vehicle and step away from me, all right? Step out and face away. Step out and face away.
Okay, Miss Alpha, please don't shoot me. Please, man.
I'm not going to shoot you. Step out and face away.
I'm looking you eye to eye, man. Please don't shoot me, man.
Don't shoot me, man.
Please, man. Stop moving. Put your hands behind your back then. I'm not going to do nothing. Face the floor. Hey, you come back. Stay in the car. I'm sorry, I was acting on my knees, whatever. Oh, man. Stop resisting, man. Yes, you are. Stand up. Please, man. Stand up on me. I want to go back. Stand up. I want to go back, man. I ain't gonna do nothing that's wrong, man. Come on, walk with me. Walk with me. Walk with me. My feet, man. God damn, man. Stand up. Why you doing me like this? Stand up. God damn. Come on. Man. I just want to stop through the We're trying to get out of the street here so you don't get hit by a car. That's it, man. I was looking, man. What I did wrong? Take a seat. Sit down for me. Thank you, man. Thank you, Mr. Sit down. Thank you, man. God. Sit all the way down. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will. Please, man. Please, man. You got an ID on you? I got one at home. All right, what's your name? George. George Perry Floyd. I don't know what's going on. God, don't leave me, man. Please, man, don't leave me, man. Please don't leave me, man. Yeah, just unlock the door for me. I have to beat it, thing. Hey. Stand up. Stop falling down. I'm claustrophobic, man. Stand up. I'm claustrophobic. Stay on your feet and face the car door. Please, man. Please. No. Please. Keep the door open. Keep the door open. I don't want to talk to you, man. Please, let me talk to you. Please. Man, you ain't listening to nothing we're saying, so we're not going to listen to nothing you're saying. I'm claustrophobic. Face the door. Please, man. I hear you, but you are going to face this door right now. Stop. I'll do anything. I'm really not anything, man. I'm not a resistor, man. I'm not. You can ask him. He know me, you know. God, man, I'm going to do anything like this, y'all. Why is it going on like this? at my wrist, Mr. Officer. I'm not that kind of guy. Sit still. I'm not that kind of guy. Please. I'm not that kind of guy, Mr. Officer. Please. God. Please, man. Don't leave me by myself, man. Please. I'm just claustrophobic. That's it. I'm not that kind of guy, man. Take a seat. No, I'm a diet. Take a seat. I'm a diet, man. You need to take a seat right now. And I just had COVID, man. I don't want to go back to that. Take a seat. I'll roll the windows down. Hey, listen. Dang, man. Listen. I'm not that kind of guy. I'll roll the windows down and you put your legs in, all right? I'll put the air on. God, look at that. You're not even listening. Look at it. Look at it. We can fix it, but not while you're standing out here. Hey, man. God, y'all do me bad, man. Man, I don't want to try to win. I don't want to try to win. I don't want to win. I'm claustrophobic. You ain't gonna win. I'm claustrophobic. I got anxiety. I don't want to do nothing to them. Man, I'm scared as fuck, man. You made a mistake. When I start breathing, it's gonna go off on me, man. Okay. Let me count to three. And I'm going in. I can't breathe. Take a seat. Please, man. Please listen to me. Is he going to jail? He's under arrest right now for forgery. I'll tell you. Can we figure out what's going on? Forgery for what? Take him out. For what? Please, man. I can't fucking breathe. Here, come on out. Look at you. Thank you. Come on the ground. Yeah, on the ground. On the ground. My wrist. Right. You got your restraint. Hobble. Okay. I can't breathe. I'll grab that. Get him. Jesus Christ. I can't breathe. Thank you. I can't breathe. Stop moving. Lane, is this yours? Yeah. Nope.
Okay, so we know how the story ends. Definitely a sad ending, a tragic ending. But I guess I should have said this before I actually played the video, just for those that don't know, and I should have put it inside the caption of the video. This was actually the police body cam that was just released. Now, why they waited so long to release police body cam, I don't know. Like, I'm even wondering, you could definitely tell it was edited, because he had his knee on his neck for like almost 9 minutes. So you could definitely tell it was edited. Okay. Did anybody else notice that? Drop me one of y'all noticed that the actual police body cam was edited. Like, it go from them, like, I guess putting them in a knee chokehold or whatever name you call it, bat a police car and trying to get him to the police car, versus what we saw in the very beginning where he was like right back the back tires of the car. You see what I'm saying? You could definitely, and that for that 9 minutes right there, you could definitely tell it was edited. So why edit the police body cam, even though we already seen the first part of it through, social media? Thank God somebody was recording it, but why, to me, it looked edited. Maybe that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Let me know if y'all agree. But why edit the police body cam? Like, to me, it just, I don't know if y'all using that for court purposes and you want to really take away from the overkill. You know what I'm saying? You want to take away from having, you want to really take away from having that part, to have that part have any effect on the deliberation from the judge or the jury. Like, exactly what would be the point of taking that part away if it was indeed edited? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That part was really weird to me. But before I really get up into details about what I really think, and because I got some things to say. I'm gonna let Lanisa Kanisha start. I got some things to say.
Go ahead, Kanisha. You can go.
Do it look like it was edited? To
It
you?
kind of do look like it was. It kind of looked like it was edited a little bit, but the cam looked like it came from one of those other two or three officers that was arrested on the charges. It looked like it came from one of them. I don't know which one, but it had to be from one of them because now they was on the
Okay, so
side
you
with
said it
it.
didn't come from I get what you're saying. Okay. So that might have been a footage that didn't come from Derek. It might have come from somebody else,
It
another one
came
of them
from
other
one of them
officers
other
that left.
officers. It came from one of them
Okay.
other two officers that was standing next to Derek. Because at that time the Chinese, when a Korean, whatever he was,
Well, they was there the entire time. They definitely would have caught the entire thing on a body cam. It
they
wouldn't
hung
have just been.
out.
It just wouldn't have been for that short moment. Well, one thing that I do want to speak on is it don't really change the way I feel about the situation. I definitely feel like he should have never been killed. And then when I look at it, it made like the first thing that came to my mind is like, Dad, all of that for a $20 forgery? A fake 20? Like, really? You would have thought that he was a suspect in a murder. Is it just me? Like, you would have thought that he was a suspect in some type of, high crime or whatever. I was like, for a fake 20? Like, really? I found it very interesting that he was bringing up the fact that he been shot before. And so I know a lot of people have talked about, especially Candace Owens. A lot of people have pointed out far as his criminal background or his criminal history, but nobody really spoke on the fact that this man was shot before by the police. Nobody had brought that up. I don't know if it was just because that information wasn't public, or maybe they did know but didn't want to speak on that. But if that is true, I mean, it can give you understanding as to why he was paranoid during his encounter with the police, because I seen some paranoia. It was definitely seemed a little paranoid to me. And I think that could definitely explain his paranoia when it comes to him having this encounter with the police, because he said he had an incident where he was shot before. And not to mention, I also wanted to point out, to me, being somebody, who grew up in the neighborhood, from the hood, a lot of people in these, I guess you could say, poverty neighborhoods or low income neighborhoods, a lot of young Black men, or just Black men in general, have this fear for the police. The police have really, how can I say, they have really brainwashed us into a way to where we have a fear of being arrested, of going to jail, of having any kind of encounter with them, of going to jail, of fear, which is also something I've seen or I noticed while watching this video, that he had a fear. He was begging them and pleading them, please. And, a lot of times, some people, when I read the comments, some people were saying he was resisting arrest. His body might have been resisting, but his words was saying something completely different. His words was saying, please don't hurt me. Please, I'm claustrophobic. Please, I've been shot before. His words was more like coming from a place of paranoia and fear, if you ask me. Because like I said, the neighborhood, especially the neighborhood that I grew up in Detroit, men and young Black men in general definitely had this type of fear for law enforcement, because we don't look at law enforcement as if they are in our neighborhoods to protect, to serve us. Okay, our minds have been conditioned to believe that they are the enemy. And a lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand that. Majority, not all, but majority of white America don't understand that. We have been, because I hear a lot of people say, why did he run? Why did he resist? Why did he fight back? Why did he snatch his taser? That's because they don't understand that our society, in our neighborhood, men, black men especially, have been conditioned to believe that 12 is the enemy. They are the enemy. They're not here to protect and serve us. They're here to hurt us. They're here to kill us. We have no rights. We have no freedom. We won't get justice. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm going to read y'all comments too, but I just wanted to say that, I just wanted to let people know that what I see out of it is really paranoia, is really fear. I'm gonna let everybody else chime in and kind of speak on what they see, because I could assume that something else was going on with him. They could be mentally unstable. He could be dealing with mental health. He could be a drug addict. But like I said, as far as his words, what I really see is him being paranoid, and he's in fear. Now, as far as him resisting arrest and not allowing them to place him inside the police car, okay, maybe he was claustrophobic. Maybe he was high and just didn't want to do it. Maybe he was in fear of going to jail. But whatever the cause may have been, whatever reason, please tell me why they use force as far as putting a knee on the neck versus hitting him with shocking him with a taser. Okay, isn't that what the taser is for? Somebody that resists arrest. Okay, so you have this man over 6 feet tall. I don't know how much he weighed. It's two of y'all. At first, more cops come show up on the scene. Y'all can't contain him. Isn't that why you have the taser? Why not hit him with a couple bolts? Throw him in the car, close the door. Because let me tell y'all one thing. Once they close that door, they can't get out. If y'all ain't never been arrested before. Why not hit him with a couple tasers? I mean, when you out there protesting, they hit you with tasers. They throw tear gas at you. They do everything under the sun. Okay, because they don't want to kill you, but they do everything under the sun to torture you or to fight without actually killing. You see what I'm saying? So why not hit him with a taser? Push him in the car, slam the door. But at least he'll be able to live to have his day in court. That's just my take on everything. Like I said, I'm going to let you guys chime in. I want to know what you guys think about it. Like, this is just, it's horrible. Like Jennifer said, it kind of brings back emotions all over again. Because one thing that our black men is not getting is their day in court. They're not even given the privilege to go in front of a judge and have their day in court. I think it would have been different, a lot different. The outcome would have been different had they just tased them a couple times and threw them in the police car. Okay, so that's my opinion on it.
I don't know. I mean, I watched the video and we talked about it behind the scenes. So, I mean, I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little bit. Not saying that I'm on the police side. I'm not at all. I don't think that this man deserved to die the way that he died. Um, but at the same time, we didn't see. I believe we should have seen him coming out of the store. We should have seen a video of what happened in the store, because we only got the footage of him being in his car and the police walking up to him. We don't know what happened at the store, whether he had a fake 20 or he didn't. We didn't see how things got to the point where the police had to be called. And it's not a front. George Floyd was kind of resisting being arrested. He was, you know, kind of going back and forth with the police officers. Now, I think the situation could have been handled a lot different than how it was handled with the police officer walking up to his car pointing a gun at him. I don't think that was a good idea. Um, but he kind of should have complied, you know, if he was claustrophobic or had bad anxiety from encountering police before, he should have just kind of like chilled a little bit, let them, tell you why they're at your car, why they arresting you, and this, that, and the third. Then see how the situation can go after that. But he was kind of resisting being arrested.
And
Let's
I
just
don't deny the
let's just
fact that
be
he was,
honest. Let's just be honest about that. We seen the video. We just seen it. He was resisting.
and I don't deny the fact that he was resistant. But like I said, and I appreciate you for playing devil's advocate and showing your, and speaking from your heart. But I didn't once deny that he was resisting arrest. He was definitely resisting arrest. But that's why I said, Kanisha, why not hit him with a taser?
Right. But
So that's
I
where I
don't.
think that they wrong at how they handled the situation, because also these officers are supposed to be trained to be able to handle mental illness. Now, what if I don't know his diagnosis, but what if they were encountering somebody who was mentally ill? Because let me tell you one thing. These cops don't know the difference. They don't know the difference between somebody who's on drugs or somebody who's mentally ill. Because there was another case before, I want to say his name was Elijah, the young boy, Lenise, that you brought to us. I want to say his name was Elijah. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he was actually mentally ill. Okay. And so the police had pulled him over, was trying to arrest him, trying to get the handcuffs on him. And he was pretty much fighting back. And he was not saying he was claustrophobic, but he was kind of like, what are you doing to me? Like, and trying to talk them out of arresting him. And even though he was saying, certain things out his mouth, his body language appeared as if he was resisting arrest. But this guy had a mental illness. Okay. But the police were saying through the dispatch that he was on drugs. He appeared to be on drugs. They don't even know the difference between somebody who on drugs or somebody who dealing with mental illness. But if you listen to the words that's coming out their mouth, if their body language is resistant, it should be a better tactic to use to actually accomplish your arrest than attempting to murder somebody. You get what I'm saying? There you go, Elijah McCain. He was autistic. There you go, Jennifer. That's exactly who I'm talking about. And they claim that Elijah McCain was on drugs. And this young man, he was not a drug addict. You see what I'm saying? He was autistic. So in a form of police training, they are supposed to be able to differentiate a person who is mentally ill from a person who's a drug addict. Okay, and maybe it might be hard to decide looking at the two, because it might look alike, it might appear the same, their actions might appear the same. However, when you have people who are not being as compliant as you would like them to be, there should be some type of tactics to use. And if you ask me, if it's 4 cops on the scene against one person, now I can see if it was just one and he wrestled them down. This man was handcuffed for one. He was handcuffed. Y'all already got the cuffs on him. It's 4 cops out there. Y'all mean to tell me y'all couldn't get him in that car and close them doors on him? Is that what y'all trying to tell me? I would like to hear from y'all.
But then in the video, it sounded like he was saying, "You know me, man. You know me, man." And it sounded like he was talking to Derek, because that's at the time when Derek had walked up. Because I could have sworn I heard him say, "You know me, man. You know me, man."
And that's something too. Because if Derek had any, and I know that they previously had worked together, but if he had any encounters with him on the street as an officer, and he recognized him, prior to, I don't know, when he's saying, "You know me, man," I don't know if that's saying you recognize me because we used to work together years ago, and you should already know who I am and I'm really no threat to you, or I don't know if he's saying that because we've had prior encounters, of you arresting me. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't know exactly what to kind of take back at, but I think I did hear him say that as well. Joyce said on the extended version, the store clerk did say George paid with a fake 20, but made it clear the guy with the dreads had more of those bills. Oh, okay. See, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. There's at least 5 minutes in the beginning before they walked up to George. Two different body cam footage. Okay. Well, yeah, we definitely should have had the second one. See, I only seen that first one. And so that's good to know too. So you guys, if I come across the second body cam footage, I'll make sure I put it in the description and you guys can click on it and watch that as well.
So the friend basically baited George.
You said
Sound-
who?
So the friend, it sounded like the friend baited him. Like he gave him a 20 or something. If he had more bills than George did, and George paid with a counterfeit 20, did he give it to him? I don't know. It's all too confusing. I don't know. The man didn't deserve to die the way he died. That's
That's big facts.
that's big facts. But at the same time, we got to look at it for how we seen it. And he was resisting, whether he was afraid. I can understand him being afraid and acting that way, but he was kind of explaining himself too much to the officers. Like, just chill, let them talk. Then you can have your say so. I mean, he was like all over the place.
And one thing we have to understand is most of them street cops do not care. They
Nah,
do
they
not
don't.
care about your health.
Nope.
They do not care about your mental illness. They do not care. I don't know if we could stress it enough. Comply, even if they are in the wrong, just to have your day in court. And maybe, just maybe, you can eat their ass up in court, but allow yourself to have that day, where you can confront the situation. Because we have a friend of ours who was arrested and feel like he was violated and he was wrongfully charged, and he's collecting his work. He getting his stuff together. He can't wait to have his day in court. He said to us, Malika, Queens, I'm getting ready to eat their ass up in court. I got me a bad attorney. He said, I can't wait to have my day in court. And I said, I know that's right. That's what I like to hear. You see what I'm saying? Because at least allow yourself that. Get you some education, get you a good attorney. And y'all know every courthouse have a law library in the city. You know what I'm saying? Go to the law library, study your laws and how they violated you, get you a good attorney, and handle your business. But give yourself the opportunity to have that day in court. So I'm not saying he didn't resist arrest, but actually what Cynthia said too, I really feel that they came off on overdrive. When they first approached him, they approached him with guns as if he was a suspect in a murder or a robbery.
Yeah,
And so
that's
to me,
true.
that was just too much. That was too much off rip.
But they all like that though. I mean, all officers, depending on the situation, they all like that. With a woman or a man, they could come up to you and be like, "You reaching for your license, and they didn't tell you to reach for your license. Put your hands up. I didn't tell you to do this." They always come off on overdrive. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe he was having a bad day. I don't fucking know. But I mean, sorry, I don't know. I don't know. It's just sad. It escalated to a point where it didn't even have to escalate. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure before this happened, all officers was trained to know how to de-escalate situations. So I
So
don't know.
Kanisha and chat, did this change your feeling about the case? Drop a one chat if this kind of a little bit changed your feeling about the case, being able to see this body footage and what actually led up to his death. Drop a two if it did not change your feelings about this case or your perspective about this case. So, Kanisha, did it change yours?
Mm, I'm kind of 50-50. I still don't I still don't like the fact that he died. I'm mad that he died behind it. But now it kind of seeing this footage kind of put like a beginning to the end. You know what I'm saying? Like when we seen him being killed. Because we only saw it from when he was being killed. We didn't see this part. So it's kind of like the peanut butter and jelly sandwich being done and put together. But I don't know. I mean, I still feel how I feel, and I feel like he didn't deserve to die. He shouldn't have died. So, and officers still need to be held accountable for what they did. Period.
Okay, so Linda said the knee on the neck was wrong, and so was the killing. But would the outcome been different if he was not combative and been more compliant? Officers don't know what they are up against either. That's true, Linda. That is true. So even if you're dealing with somebody who are on drugs or some, I mean, if you're dealing with somebody that's being combative, right? You can just assume the worst, but at the end of the day, you absolutely right. Being an officer, you don't know, what to expect either. You don't know if this person is on drugs, if they, gonna try something, or if they're gonna try to put up a fight with you, snatch your gun. You don't know what to expect. You don't know if they are mentally ill. And, because even being mentally ill, they can still hurt you. I mean, so you absolutely right with that comment right there. I have to give it to y'all. Y'all are absolutely on point with that.
But that
Um,
officer didn't have to, talk to him that way neither. Look how he was talking to him. Put your effing hands up. You know what I'm saying? He ain't have to act like that neither, in my opinion.
yeah. Do this change? Do this video change your feeling about the case, Lenise?
No, I mean, either way it goes, I still I don't feel like they had the right to kill the man.
Right.
Okay. Tiff said I had to file a complaint on the officer on the 4th of July because the officer walked past about 60 adults and ran down on my 8-year-old autistic daughter and scared the mess out of her. Wow. That's scary. I mean, that's scary for an adult to have to experience something like that, to have encounters with the police. So I can imagine a child, and especially a child with autistic or with autism. I couldn't imagine. Joy said about one half. So Joy is kind of like 50-50, like you said, Kanisha. Jennifer said two. It doesn't really change much for her at all. Cynthia said exactly what I tell my son is Malika comply with their wrong or right. Uh-huh. Joy said 45 Pete, my son is in another state for school, and I called him right after that video and said, please don't fight. I know that's right. And that's one thing we do have to teach our young kids. We have to educate them, queens. We got to let them know, if they, especially if they don't have a father figure and they like to actually teach them how to encounter the police. And, but that's one thing we have to stress to them. Do not resist arrest. Comply as much as possible, and just have that day in court. Mama will be there for you, representing you. We're going to have a bad attorney for you, but just give yourself the opportunity to have your day in court. Like I said, a lot of young men are afraid of getting arrested. They are afraid of jail. We've heard before in several cases. Remember Dre Sean cases in his video, he was like, I'm not going back to jail. I refuse to go to jail. Like I would literally take them out before I go to jail. And I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying this was his words. I refuse. I'm not going to jail. So, hey, if you have to spend a weekend in jail before you can see a judge, if you have to do a month, 2 months, a year, 2 years, at least you got your life. You still have your life. So, queens, we have to make sure we school our young men and let our men know. Live to see your day in court. Comply as much as possible. Don't give them a reason. Don't give them a reason to kill you. Not saying that there is a reason. I got to make that known. But somebody would say, well, Malika, it ain't a reason. No, I'm not saying it is, but that would be their way of justifying their actions. Don't give them that. No one deserves to die. Or supposedly all this funding they're getting, they should be training on a constant. I know that's right, Jennifer. And you see, this is why the neighborhood wants to defund the police, because of stuff like this. No one deserves to die. George was really hyped up. A pipe was found and it came out that he had meth in his system.
Yeah, I seen that in the video. I ain't say nothing, but I seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know it was meth. I didn't know it was meth.
It was a pipe. It was a pipe though. I seen it. They pulled it right out, and that's probably, that could be a reason as to why he was so hyped up too. He didn't want them to find that pipe on him. That's why he kept saying he was scared to go back to jail.
I can see the comments. I'm driving, but I can hear you, Jennifer. Yes, my son Gary go to California to play basketball, so I'll get you on that. Okay, you can't be texting and driving, Cynthia, because we don't want you to have no encounters. To be honest, the hour-long video is really sad, but it's a teachable moment for the police and the person being arrested. And we definitely have to find that hour-long video. And you guys, like I said, if I could find that video, Joy, if you can actually send it to me, that'd be great. Send it to queensroundtable@gmail.com, Queens with a Z. And like I said, I can actually copy and paste the link and put it inside the description in case anybody want to watch the hour-long video. And comment in the comment section. Maybe watching a full video, maybe that might change your feeling or your perception about the case. Maybe it won't. Okay, who knows? But I definitely believe it's well worth watching. I'm gonna go back and watch it. Because like I said, I was kind of 50-50, but at the same time, it really didn't change my perspective because of how they handled the situation. I feel like they should be better trained than that. So, you guys know, in case you don't know, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up. But like I said, a lot of this is a little old news. So in case you're living under a rock, you guys should know that Joe Biden has announced his new vice president nominee in the 2020 election, which is I might be pronouncing her name wrong. Okay, so help me if I'm pronouncing her name wrong. I'm trying to remember the tip that Nene gave me. Kamala Harris.
Boom.
I got it. Hey, because I was gonna call her Camellia, but Nene told me think of Nene. This was Nene tip to me because I kept saying Camellia. I'm bad with names. I am horrible with names. But she said, think about a koala bear. So if y'all notice, I had to pause for a minute. I had to think of koala. I had to think about koala. So Kamala Harris, y'all know he had announced his new running mate. So if y'all don't know who, and I might even pronounce it wrong, even though I got it right the first time, I might still do. Excuse me if I do. Okay, I'm sorry. But I'm gonna throw a picture up of her real quick, just in case for those who haven't actually seen her. So yeah, he announced his new running mate, and so I'm gonna kind of give y'all like a little quick overview as to who she is and what she's done in the past before. A lot of you guys probably already know, and if you guys want to add anything to it, please do. But I'm just gonna give like a real quick rundown of this woman real quick because we should know, we should have our facts, our information when it comes to this year election. You guys, I really feel like this upcoming election is the most important election we have ever had in America's history. Do anybody else feel like that? And this is my 19-year-old daughter, first year voting. Okay. And so I think this is the most important election that we have ever had. Like, I believe our future rests on this election.
Yes.
I'm all for get out there and vote. Get out there and vote, people. Let your voice be heard. Get out there and vote, my people. This is the most important. And y'all, spread awareness. Spread, if you have done some research or came across some news articles or whatever the case may be, spread awareness. Put the information out there. So just to give people some information, to help spread information when it comes to these politicians and the work that they have done and the work that they are currently doing. Get information out there because our people need to be knowledgeable when it comes to these politicians, and we need to make sure our voices is heard. Make sure we stand up. So everybody get out there and vote. I don't care who you vote for. Just get out, have your information together. And don't vote based on what your mama vote, what your grandma vote, what your neighbors vote, what you hear people on Facebook saying vote. Do your own research, do your own homework, and let your voice be heard. Let God lead you and let your voice be heard. But anyway, so, and Jennifer gave me a quick tip. I'm sorry. My phone, I always go through this. Okay, it'll stop. So Jennifer gave me a quick tip. She said Camilla. Is that Camilla? See, I don't know how to pronounce that, Jennifer. But anyway, so Kamala. Did I say it right again? This is Kamala Harris. Like I said, she's the vice president nominee in the 2020 election. And she also has a husband named Doug. And Douglas, aka Doug. Douglas will be considered. Now, this is really strange to me, y'all. Like I never heard this before, but it's the new day, a new time, things change. Douglas will be considered the first, second gentleman of the United States. Have y'all ever heard that before? I actually heard Biden say this on one of his press conferences. He said, because Douglas, is I guess you could say second to him, which is he's the president. Douglas will be considered the first, second gentleman. Instead of the first lady, he will be considered the first, second gentleman of the United States. So I just found that to be interesting. Huh?
Weird.
That is kind of weird.
Weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
That's weird as hell. Like,
I mean, if Hillary Clinton would have won, Bill Clinton would have been former President Bill Clinton and second man or whatever you want to call it.
Second gentleman.
Yeah,
Second gentleman.
Him too.
That's what he would be. His title would be second gentleman. But like you said, if it was Bill Clinton, it would have probably been former president. It would probably been like Hillary president and her husband, former president Bill Clinton. But they had to create a name for Douglas. And the only name, title, should I say, that they created for him was first, second, because they didn't want to say first gentleman, because I guess Joe Biden say, I'm first. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to be the first, second gentleman.
Right, because Joe Biden's wife is going to be first lady, so then Doug will be second gentleman. So.
Exactly. It's weird as hell to me. But anyway, and there's been a lot of talk, and not about what she has done, during her years reigning in, politics or, as a prosecutor, but because we don't get off into that, I'm kind of give y'all a rundown of that too, in case y'all don't know. But just a lot of talk around who she is as a woman, as far as her race and ethnicity, as far as her education, as far as her, and that's just weird to me. Like, that's just really weird to me. So, because I'm like, okay, this is like a really important election. And I see more people talking about, is she a black woman? How much of, of African American do she have in her? Is she a white woman? And really kind of judging her by her appearance versus her status and what she have done prior to running for vice president. So just kind of clear up the rumors or whatever. She is of Jamaican and Indian descendant. Okay. Her mother is an Indian woman. Her father was from Jamaica. Okay. So just to kind of clear that up. And I think that when it comes to us even having topics of discussion about this and speaking on this kind of push forth the race agenda. You see what I'm saying? And it kind of, we don't need to even be focusing on race or racism or anything like that. But I just noticed there's been a lot of talk about that. So just want to kind of put that out there. But she is the first woman of color, okay, to be on a major party's presidential ticket. Okay, so which is a big deal. A big deal. Okay, Harrison was hired in 1990. Just kind of give a little overall background. I'm not going to go into, too deep. Just kind of give y'all an overall background on who she is and what she's done. Okay, and I want to hear y'all opinion, what y'all think of her. Harrison was hired in 1990 as a deputy district attorney in California, where she was noted as being an able prosecutor on the way up. Convictions of drug dealers increased from 56% in 2003 to 74% in 2006. Now, I wanted to also be noted because this was a point that Donald Trump made or used against Ms. Harris. That she had made 1,900 convictions of marijuana marijuana convictions during her time as a prosecutor. 1,900 marijuana offenses. Do you guys agree with that? Just let's start there. Do you guys agree with that? Okay. I'm not gonna lie. If I gotta keep it real with y'all, it was a bit of a turnoff for me. I'm like, you spent a lot of your time as a prosecutor convicting people for marijuana. 1,900 marijuana convictions that was eventually overturned anyway by her opposer. That just didn't really sit well with me. Not really, going at her, for the work she's done. But I'm just saying, it really doesn't sit well with me. It kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Like, wow. Did you find those to be? Did you find those to be? Did you find those to be easy convictions? On your way up the prosecutor's ladder, did you find those to be real easy convictions? So you see what I'm saying? Like, was that it?
Was that before weed became legalized in California?
Definitely before weed became legalized in California.
Okay.
Definitely before. Let me
how
see.
many murder convictions do she have under her belt?
Well, it says when it comes to I'm sorry, y'all. It says when it comes to violent crimes, within the first 6 months of taking office, Harris cleared 27 to 74 backlogged homicide cases by settling 14 plea deals and taking 11 to that with 9 convictions. So when it came to homicide cases, Lanice, she cleared 27 out of 74. Backlogged. So homicide cases that I guess was pending, or it was still open cases, but they had been backlogged. And so she basically settled 14 out that 27 that plea agreements and taking 11 of them to trial. And from that 11, she had 9 convictions and 2 hung juries. So she obtained the 81% success rate. Okay, when it comes to that. I mean, notice the numbers is huge. 1,900 when it comes to drug evictions, marijuana convictions. But when it comes to, like you said, Lanice, homicide, 27 homicide. And this was in the early 20s, might I add. This was in the early 20s when she first took office.
Wow.
Okay, and out of that 27, listen to me, y'all. Out of that 27 cases that she decided to maybe reopen or open up, out of that 27, 14 she made plea agreements with. It was only 9 convictions out of that 27. Okay, and because of, I believe, because of the convictions and because of the plea agreements as well, this is why she had an 81% success rate, not because she had 81% convictions. And sometimes we kind of, misread the numbers, and people will put out there and share, well, she have an 81% success rate when it comes to homicide cases. That's not true. Don't misread the numbers. She has obtained 81% success rate due to the fact that out of the 27 cases, homicide cases that she dealt with, 14 she won through plea agreements. Do anybody hear me? Drop me a 1.
I hear you loud and clear. Wow.
This is something that we need to do our homework. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, we know who won't be getting the vote. California won't be voting for Joe.
Okay, so another thing that we need to understand about Miss Harris is she feels that life imprisonment without parole is better and more cost effective than punishment than the death penalty. So she's not for the death penalty. Okay, she'll rather for somebody to be convicted or to be sentenced, should I say, life imprisonment, and is more cost effective than death row. Than sentencing somebody to death row. Okay, so during her campaign, she pledged to never seek the death penalty. Okay, so that's something else. Like I said, we need to have our information, our you know, all our information in order and know what we're dealing with. Okay. In November the 12th, 2008, she announced her candidacy for California Attorney General. Okay. Both of California's senators, House speakers, co-founders, and mayor of Los Angeles all endorsed her during this preliminary. In June 2010 preliminary, she was nominated with 33% of the vote, defeating her opponent. In the general election, she faced Republican District Attorney who led the race, Steve Cooley. Cooley was a non-partisan, distancing himself from the Meg Whitland campaign. The election was held November the 2nd, but after a protracted period of counting mail-in and provisional ballots. I'm sorry, I need my glasses on, y'all. I cannot read without my glasses on. And that girl is trying to do it. But anyway, Harris was sworn in January 3rd, 2011 as the first African-American. And that first African-American title she has had before, the first African-American woman to be sworn in as a California General Attorney. You go, girl. Okay? She breaking barriers.
Hey, sis was out there securing the bags.
She's breaking barriers. And I guess this is something that she's used to doing, breaking barriers. But to move it on, you guys know she was also the senator. She became a senator. Let me get those dates and everything together, just to kind of give us a little overall of who she is. 2017. I believe it's there 16, the California Democratic Party voted at its convenience to endorse Harris, who received nearly 80% of the vote. 3 months later, Governor Jerry Brown endorsed her. Okay. She was also endorsed on July 19th by President Barack Obama, and Vice President Joe Biden also endorsed Harris. Okay, so she was also the senator of California. So she have been dealing with politics, and she have also been on the side of law enforcement. Okay, so this is the woman that we're dealing with. There's so much more to understand about Harris. You guys, like I said, take your time out to read and do some research. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. She is not African American. She is Black American. Okay, not in these times. I bet you those convictions, majority African Americans. I think I also said that, Jennifer. I also believe you talking about those 1900 marijuana convictions. I bet they are in California. I bet they are too. And then you have years later, marijuana was passed into law. And also a lot of those convictions that she had was overturned. So something to think about. I kind of agree a lot with the Republican candidate, Angela. She speaks a lot of facts, but I am not a Trump supporter, but Angela do speak in facts. And we haven't really got into Angela yet. So I do want to take the time out. And the reason why I didn't, because I want to take the time out to kind of check out her work. I want to check out her work, and maybe we can do another show, upcoming show. We kind of like talking about both candidates and kind of digging into them a little bit more. But all in all, Lenice, Nini, what do you guys feel about our new nominee, Miss Harris?
She alright, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little bit more looking into it, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I might do a little digging up on it too. I don't know. I already know who I'm voting for, and hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, and I mean, we got to keep in mind too, like, Joe Biden, I heard he ain't in the best health. I don't know, but I heard he ain't in the best health. So, we also, if anything happened to Joe Biden, this will be our president. Or is the world ready for a woman president? Yes or no? Drop me a one of y'all say, yeah, we ready. We ready for something different. I don't care black or white. We ready to see a female president in office, or vice president. If you just agree, and like I said, I know these shouldn't be the things that we focus on in this election, whether or not she's a male, female, black, white, or whatever. But, that will be another life changing, something different, something that this nation has never seen before. Do you believe, and everybody have their different opinions, whether or not they believe that a woman can run the world or not. And we have to just keep in mind, if she do win, she will be next up. So
Yeah. So y'all better get prepared.
my husband, he do not believe in that. My husband, I can say that right now, my husband do not believe in a
A
woman running
woman
the
running the
world.
world.
No, he don't. I don't, and he's not a male chauvinist, nothing like that, but he just feel that God established order. And he just feel that, God made man first. He wanted them people that be like, well, God made man first. And he believed that men's supposed to take the leadership type of role. It's not that he don't respect a woman who may take authority over her man. Like, he would listen to Joyce Myers. He don't say because Joyce Myers is in authority over her husband, I'm not going to listen to her. But he do feel that that's not the proper order. And he have made that clear to me that he don't feel like the woman should rule over the man. That's another subject for another day. But some people may agree when it comes to that. Some people may agree that it's kind of like out of, especially if you a Bible-based believer. Some people feel like that's just kind of out of order. You know what I'm saying? And women should not rule over men. And some women feel like, hey, today's a new day. We equal to man. We can do what they can do, if not better. So that's why I wanted to know y'all thoughts and y'all opinion on everything. Okay, we are not ready for Trump, but I'd rather her than his crazy.
I know that's right. Hey, cause baby, no, anything better than him. He out here calling
And
coronavirus China virus. Like, come on now. No.
I actually heard Trump say, if I don't get reelected this election, the U.S. will belong to China. And I was kind of curious as to why he made that statement. But like I said, this election right here is very important. And we kind of running out of time. We're going to go over just maybe 10 minutes today
If Trump
because we
don't
want.
sit his ass down somewhere, what the hell he talking about? We gonna belong to China? He just mad. He's shaking in his
I
boots
don't,
that his
I
ass ain't
really
gonna
don't
win.
know. I don't know if I should take that comment that he said literal or what. But like I said, I want to do some more research. But yeah, he really made that. He said this country is doomed and it's going to belong to China. I don't know if they see a war coming in the future. I heard China is over there. Their military is stronger than ever. Like, I heard that Miss Harris don't believe in funding the military. We need to have a military. We need to have a military. Like, what is this country if we don't have a military? Especially if our enemies is strapped up and prepared to go to war at any time. We need to have our military funded. And that's just my opinion. But I heard she's not with funding the military. So like I said, it takes us to really do some work and really do some homework. But we have to hurry up and move it along because we had ran out of time. We want to go ahead and just speak a little bit on a UPS mail delay. And it's really crucial that we kind of touch on this a little bit because a lot of people want to do mail-in voting. For one, a lot of people are, a lot of elderly, they're used to doing absentee ballots and things like that. And so now we have a time where, you're dealing with this COVID. And so a lot of people don't feel safe, or they want to, they feel safer at home, staying at home, and they want to mail in their votes. But a lot of y'all, I don't know if y'all going through it, but I know my grandmother in Michigan said, not my grandmother, I'm sorry, my aunt in Michigan said to me that her mail runs every 3 days. And she was saying this to me, I want to say, for the last couple months, or the last month for sure. she was, calling me and complaining about her mail, her not getting mail. Is anybody else dealing with issues when it comes to their mail carriers? Have anybody else mail have been not coming, running on time or normally like as before? Drop a 1 if you guys are dealing with that right there, because we think that this mail, well, from my understanding, this whole mail thing plays a lot into the election, because we do know that they offered Trump, or they asked Trump to kind of fund the UPS and USPS. I'm sorry, not UPS, USPS. And he said no. He said no, he won't do it because he did not want the election to be threatened or to be tampered with in some way, shape, or form. And at first I was pretty much like, how can that be possible? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can it be possible for the mail-in votes to kind of throw off the election? Like, it just didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense to me at all. But that was his reasoning for, okay, I got Nene back on. That was his reasoning for not funding the United States Postal Service. Okay, that was his reason for not funding it, because of the voting and the election. So, is anybody else having any problems, any issues with their mail
I'm
running?
having issues, and a lot of my family members are having issues too, and some of them not getting their mail till like 8 o'clock at night.
Really?
Yes.
And so it's important that they know that it's not just them. It's pretty much happening all around the world. Okay, it's pretty much happening all around the world. People have been complaining about the postal service deliveries being slowed down and things like that. So I've heard people say, "Oh, this is a whole ploy from Trump, to rig the elections." Like, I heard all kind of crazy stuff, and I'm not saying it's not true. I mean, I really don't know. But I've heard a lot of stuff when it comes to the United States Postal Service. So we need to just keep in mind, when it comes to mailing in votes, that this right here is going on. It could possibly be an issue when it comes to letting your voice being heard. Okay, so it can be possibly a issue. I'm sorry, I'm trying to share the screen a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. When it comes to, this election, this 2020 election. So, there have been an outcry over delivery slowdown. And so it's not just happening to you guys, it's happening all around the world. Now, I haven't experienced it here in Texas. Our mail run consistent. It's been running consistent. We haven't had any issues with it, but it's definitely been an issue. And we believe that it's all about politics. Okay. So, Mail Postal General Louis DeJoy faces intense backlash over cost-cutting moves that Democrat state attorney general and civil rights groups warn could jeopardize mail-in voting. Okay, which I was just saying, if being the fact that this is going on, this can actually jeopardize your voice being heard. Okay. So, said on Tuesday that the Postal Service will suspend these operational changes until after 2020 election. Okay. And so, from my other understanding is Trump wants to postpone the voting due to this whole Postal Service outrage, because he believes that it's not safe. Or not safe, that's the wrong word. He believes that it won't be an accurate voting if people was to actually mail in their votes. He believes that it will be, how can I say it? A fraudulent number or something made up if people don't actually go out to the polls. For those that want to stay in and vote, he feel like the odds will be against him if they actually was to mail in their votes, and it could be compromised. That's what I should say. That the election could be compromised for those who mail in their votes. And this is the whole reason why the Postal Service is kind of, it's an outcry over the Postal Service and everybody getting their mail and stuff like that. So he's saying while this stuff is going on, as far as the Postal Service, he wants to delay the election. because of that, because he's saying, no, I'm not going to fund the Postal Service. I'm not going to support it because I feel like if I support it, more people will actually stay at home and mail in their votes, and mailing in their votes can compromise me winning this next election. Okay. So this is what was said by Trump. I don't know y'all feelings on it. I would love to know y'all feelings on it. Go ahead and comment in the chat room, but I'm going to show y'all something else before we end this. Okay. And this is one of the reasons why Trump said, and a lot of people probably didn't have this information. Okay. This is one of the reasons why I want to give y'all both sides of the story. I would never just try to give y'all one piece. I want to give y'all both sides of the story. This is one of the reasons why Trump said that this, the mail-in voting thing can compromise the election. Okay, because there was a California man who was just charged with mail-in voting fraud. I just found out that was even an actual crime. Okay, I'm sure it's illegal, but it is the actual crime, and it's actually people who have done it. And I'm pretty sure he's not the only one. But this California man was just charged with mail-in voting fraud in 3 elections. So what happened was the man was casting votes, mail-in votes, for himself as well as his deceased mother for the last 3 elections.
What the hell? Oh my God.
For his last 3 elections. And I guess Trump say they want me out the office so bad. They gonna be voting for their mama, their grandma, their deceased uncle.
That is pitiful.
Because people are doing this. People have been doing this for years. When it comes to mail-in voting, in a way, it can be compromised because the actual person is not there, at the booth to register, to show his ID. You see what I'm saying? So mailing in votes. So I actually understood why he said that the election can be rigged. And this is why the Democrats is pushing for him to fund the post office so the mail can get back to running, everything can go back smooth. But he said, no, I'm not going to do that because y'all trying to trap me. Because if I do that and everything goes to running back smoothly prior to this election, me running, it could be compromised. So he said, I'm not going to do that. What I would do in place of that, because he said, I don't want people to mail in votes. I want people to actually go to the polls and vote. So he said, what I would rather do is delay the voting. I would rather delay the voting before I actually fund United States Postal Service and help get everything back smooth, because now we're going to have majority of people mailing in their votes. And so I guess, coming with being compromised is the fact that you can vote for your mama, your dead daddy, your dead sister, your dead grandma. You see what I'm saying? So, and it was a man who went through 3 different elections voting for his mom and was not caught until just recently. Okay. So I kind of, because I had some people say to me, I talk politics to different people. I talk religion to different people, and I listen to other people say, even though we might not agree, I listen to their side. I share, my point of view with them. And I heard somebody say to me, Trump want to rig the election. And that's the reason why he don't want nobody mailing in their votes. Well, a way to actually rig the election would be through mail-in votes. And I'm not saying that they can't do it through the actual, system, the voting system, but an easier way to actually compromise an election will be through mail-in votes. A more realistic way, at least the way I see it in my eyes. I don't know. So I just wanted to go ahead and bring that up to you guys. So we have a helpful tip for you guys before you guys get out there and vote. Lanice going to share kind of a helpful tip for you guys, and it's just something that, with common sense, but we wanted to make sure you guys were aware as to what's going on prior to this election. So you'll kind of know how to move. I'm going to go ahead and let Lanice take it over. We're going to go ahead and end it from there.
Okay, so you guys, we really want to make sure that we are voting as Malika stated. So if you can't get out to the polls, then go to your local post office and put your absentee ballot in. You guys can do it certified. That way you'll have a receipt, and that will ensure that your vote is getting counted. And if you guys have to go to the polls, make sure that you're wearing masks, double up, make sure you're social distancing. And am I forgetting something else, Malika? I feel like I am.
I think that was the most important thing, especially if you guys are going to do mail-in votes. I think that was the most important thing is to, don't drop it through the mailbox. Don't give it to your postal worker. Actually take it to the post office. Get it certified mail. I want to say certified mail I think it's $12 here. I don't know how much it is there, but it's real reasonable. It's not expensive, but at least with certified mail, you can have a tracking number. And you'll be able to track your package and know that it actually made it to the place and know that your vote actually counted. Okay, so that's the best advice right there, Lanice, that you gave. If you ask me, and of course, if you're going to go out to the polls, I'm pretty sure it's going to be crowded. It's probably going to be the most activity we've seen in any election. Of course, like she said, if you go out there, just make sure you protect it. Wear your face mask, get some hand sanitizer, because I'm pretty sure they're not going to be cleaning those machines in the middle of different people, and just make sure you protect it. But that was the best advice we can give when it comes to voting. So it's going down. I'm gonna read a couple of these.
Whatever you guys do, please make sure y'all vote, because this is very important that we do this.
Amen. It is very important. I just want to give a shout out to God's Gift. Hey, God's Gift, I didn't see you in the chat room. How are you? I hope everything is good for you. Jennifer said my mail is slow. The top mailer or boss is supporter of Trump. Yeah, a lot of people have been going through it, but it was rigged when Bush was gone. When Bush and Gore was running with the polling machines. Yeah, I did hear that it could actually be rigged through the polling machines as well. And I guess it could be rigged either way. But to ensure that your vote is counted, if you're going to mail it in, make sure you get it certified mail. That's like the best advice we can give you. As far as what the election is actually pushing to us and everything that's going on right now, hey, we can only, speculate from the outside looking in. Is they trying to tamper with, is, like my friend said, is Trump actually trying to tamper with the polling machines, or is the Democrats trying to set Trump up for the failure because more people going to be voting for their mama, grandma, uncle? I don't know. All we can do is, speculate. But you guys, make sure our voices is heard. Each and every one of y'all get out to the polls or either mail in your vote, certified mail. And because this right here, and remember, do your homework. Do your homework on these candidates. No matter what you may feel inside, just make sure mentally you have the knowledge and information that you need to make an informative decision, something that you could stand on, and something you feel good about after you vote. Okay, we're gonna get ready to get up out of here. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Please don't forget to hit that like button and go ahead and share this video. We are up and coming platform, and we're trying to get back in action from the little break that we took. So I want you guys to support us fully if you guys can. We love you guys, and we will talk to you guys next Wednesday. And also, real quick, do not forget to send us the email. Send us an email with any questions you might have. We'll read it on next week's show or the shows after that. Any concerns, any topics that you want to talk about, shoot us an email at queenswithaz_roundtable@gmail.com. Love you guys. We'll go ahead and get up out of here.
Bye.
See you.
See you.
Peace.